Hello, beautiful people. Peace and blessings. I'm going to be doing Solar Sunday readings with the guides of Kemite, the Egyptian god. So let's see what they have. I have my mother Isis here. Her statue is right next to me. I'm going to pull a card to start this off with. We have the goddess Nut, who is the goddess of the sky. If you like this deck, this is the Book of Doors. I have the link to buy it on my Amazon shopping list, which is down below. And see what we also are having today. Okay, we got a couple of cards. We have Justice, the Six of Cups, and the Six of Swords. When we think about Nut, this is talking about the Divine Mother, and the sky is the Divine Mother. Nut is the Egyptian goddess of the sky, and she bends forward, covering us, blanketing us, protecting us, serenading us. She is the awe that we get when we look at the clouds. She is the love that surrounds Earth. This is the understanding that whether you feel like you have a lot of opposition right now in your physical life, if you feel right now like there's not a lot of human support, let's say your family's not the most supportive or anything of that sort, then you have to understand that you still have divine love that surrounds you. And this might not be in a physical realm, but this love might be from the ancestral realm, those who have crossed over that I tied to you. And I'm seeing this based on your heart chakra. And I'm seeing, if you ever need to do a guided meditation for this, think of your heart chakra, look at the back of it, and imagine like there's a link. And that link is showing you all your different ancestors and guides, showing you all the warriors that walk with you, and shamans and healers and workers with herbs and roots and things of that sort. Also, those who were able to shapeshift into animals. In the Aztecs, we call them Nahuales, but they exist in a lot of different peoples, a lot of different races, a lot of different groups. I'm just getting the sense of like knowing that you have guides, knowing that you have ancestors, knowing that you have divine beings that walk for you and with you, and that's your encouragement, and that's enough, believe it or not, for you to go forward, for you to go onward. The understanding here is that those of you who have a divine purpose are going to first be launched into undivine settings. You're going to be around people who are asleep. You're going to be around people who are doing what society tells them to do, but that's not you. You have a higher purpose. You have a higher path. The next card that we have is Justice. I'm getting a sense of like having to know that just because people don't support your values doesn't mean that your values are wrong. Just because people around you don't support what you believe in doesn't mean that what you believe in is wrong. This is about being firm within yourself, being firm within your spirituality, being firm within your practice, and going forward and not apologizing for it and not caring what people say. I'm really getting the sense of like maybe even opposition within the family. Family telling you this is wrong, family telling you that you are crazy, family telling you that you are condemned for whatever you're practicing. I'm getting the sense of trusting that you don't have to fight any battles, but when you have balance within your own heart, the universe will bring balance around your world. And this might mean understanding that you have to really go within the path of self, walking this road, and shut off people. But as you're doing that, you're also coming into your divine ascension, which means having your gifts in your physical body. Your gifts are being streamed to you. Everybody has spiritual gifts. But in order to unlock them, you have to walk the path of self. This means honoring yourself. This means figuring out what makes me feel pain, what makes me feel triggered, what makes me feel unrooted. And confronting those things and giving love to those things and nurturing those things and understanding that that is how you really find your spiritual glow up. This is how you find access to your own magic. Your magic is within you. Your magic is not outside of you. A lot of you need to not really rely on perhaps having a physical teacher show up for you right away, but you need to start learning how to divinate for yourself, doing tarot for yourself, occult readings for yourself, looking at astrology, reading your own stuff, studying. You can always go to a pro, but do your own basis. Do your own work for it already. For a lot of you, I'm getting the sense of like, you already know which beings you walk with because they show up in visions and meditations and dreams. And you have to do the work to connect. And connection doesn't even have to be through a ritual all the time. Connection can be like you setting it in your mind, like I'm going to telepathically talk to the spirit. And by doing so, the spirit will show you signs. For some of you, you might hear them. I very much hear spirits, but they might also speak in images. in thoughts and feelings and sensations. Trust that too. We have double sixes here with the Six of Swords and the Six of Cups. I'm getting a sense of like an estranged childhood, maybe even like sibling rivalries. And I'm just getting the sense of like you have no idea how divine you are, and just because you were treated as undivine or unworthy in childhood doesn't mean that that's who you really are. It really feels like a lot of you who have any ties back into the Kemetic gods, into the Egyptian gods, into Isis, Auset, or any of them, you have to understand that this is kind of our path right now in this incarnation, which is that we reincarnate having to remember our godliness and understanding that other people have lost access to their own connections to higher consciousness, so they can't even tap into their higher self at all. And they're not going to understand what you're talking about. They're not going to understand what you're doing. They're not going to understand you. That doesn't matter. You have to go on anyway. And you have to understand that self-worth comes from within. It doesn't come from outside of you. That means that you need to start changing the way that you speak to yourself. And all of this stuff, emotional health, mental health, physical health, that all ties in back into your spiritual expansion and your spiritual growth and how you feel on a vibrational level and what you're able to manifest and attract. So if you know that there's any vices that you still hold on to, or any things that you do, maybe exposures to people who still put you in a low frequency, who still mess up your game, people who we would call, you know, that they might give you pleasure in a moment, or they might be friends that you're comfortable with, or family members who you've been around forever, but in the long run, they always make you feel bad. When you come home, you feel drained, you feel empty. If you ever feel drained after a situation, you feel more tired, then maybe you need to assess if these people are good for you or not. For those of you who have gone hermited, because I'm seeing that some of you have, understand that this is about you taking the time to see the true you that's in your mirror. And I'm seeing a mirror in front of you, but instead of your physical body, your physical avatar, I'm seeing your higher self, who's gigantic as hell, yo, and is radiating like this auric, like, light all around you. It might be a specific color, whatever color comes to you, that's the color your aura is right now. We have the Knave of Cups, and we also have the Hanged Man. Some of you need to work with the Egyptian god Horus. If you are in your masculine, or wanting to connect to your masculine, doesn't matter your gender, or the goddess Hathor, for knowing your own worth and knowing your own value. Horus is the son of Isis. I'm seeing him for some reason in this image, the hangman. But then I heard this is for the divine masculine. And again, it doesn't matter what gender you are, because we have moments where we connect to our inner masculine and our inner feminine. What I'm getting the sense of with Horus is he's going to teach you boundaries, how to stand up for yourself, how to stand up with toxic family members, how to set your worth when it comes to even prices or anything regarding business, or anything like setting your worth to yourself regarding entrepreneurship. The other card that we have is the Knave of Chalices, but when it comes to the divine feminine Hathor, what I'm seeing is like learning that beauty is within, learning that sensuality is within, that sexuality is within, knowing that you don't need anybody to tell you that you're beautiful to always be in a state of beauty. You need to tell yourself that you're beautiful to be in a state of beauty. It doesn't matter how Thor is saying what anybody tells you to make you feel good about yourself. You have to tell yourself every day that, or else you're always going to be looking at other people to always hype you up, to always give you these boosts. And a lot of you already know the downloads that you've been getting through different people, through different mediums, through different vessels, through different dreams, where it's like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. And they might phrase it in questions, or, you know, you would really be good at this. And you have to understand that the divine talks to different people, and these people don't always have to be spiritual either. These people could be regular people in your regular life who are getting divine channels. And if you keep being told you should do this by different people, start doing it. Or else it's like, it's almost like I'm hearing from Hathor, how many signs do you want us to give you? How many more other signs do you need to start being in your truest divine essence? And it's not about knowing the full route or navigation, she's saying. It's about just knowing enough to do the next step, to do the next step, to do the next step. An empire isn't built with knowing the full trajectory. First, you got to build the front entrance. Then you go into the building. Then you build that. Then you build the backspace. Like, you have to understand that it's a process, but it's a process of trust. Lastly, I mentioned that we have the Knave of Cups. Hathor is just frustrated because she's just like, yo, a lot of you come from Kemite. If you're watching this, you come from Kemite. or you come from ancient Egypt, and it's like, how many more messages do we need to give that you're our children? How many more messages do we need to give you that you're divine? How many more messages do we need to give you that your purpose matters? How many more messages do we need to give you to let you know that you are of divine essence? And by you being in your truest divinity, then that wakes up the people around you. You don't wake up the people around you by being like, yo, wake up, and you shake them up. You have to become an embodiment of these spiritual principles that you really believe in and that you really value. Stop blaming religion, stop blaming all this, because you know enough. You have all the knowledge. Now you just need to take the leap of faith. You need to take the path of trust. You already know these spiritual concepts. Now start applying it. You already know your own alchemy. You always feel like you need somebody to tell you you're doing good. How about we show you that you're doing good through the signs and symbols? So yeah, we have the Page of Cups that I keep wanting to talk about, the Knave of Chalices. This is all about like being a student and being excited, not feeling scared, not feeling like you're late. Like, stop feeling like you're late, stop feeling like you procrastinated, stop feeling like, oh no, I just woke up, I was under this huge spell, like I just have all this time that I wasted. No, you don't. Time moves based on how you move. If you move fast, there's enough time. If you move slow, there's never going to be enough time. All right? I don't know why, but this deck comes with this dice. I'm going to throw it and see what we get with numerology too. We got the number 1. This is the number of trust and advocacy. There's the number of new beginnings. This is the number of moving forward and trusting your natural born instincts of what you're supposed to do in this life. Like, how many more things do you need to know your power? How many more people do you need to tell you that you're a magician, you're a healer, for you to actually believe that? I'm going to pull this or draw this dice one more time, see what other number we got. We got the number 6. I mean, in a sense, if you want unity and connection, you have to be in your most divine self. If you really want to meet a soul family, you really want to meet people who have the same spiritual principles that you believe in, then you need to just keep trusting yourself, keep loving yourself, because the more you are knowing yourself and honoring your true self and removing all that false programming that was told by you by family, friends, school, society, religion, all of that jazz, like, you are literally starting to see your true self. You are literally starting to understand and bear witness to the brilliance and magnificence of who you are. And from there, siren for confirmation, your truest self starts to magnify and your auric field starts to magnify, and that creates a output for who can show up around you and who cannot show up around you. This also gets rid of what you call energy vampires, but this also brings in the people of the highest essence that are supposed to be around you. All right, okay, y'all, so I am thinking of doing these types of readings every Sunday. I love the Egyptian gods. They're very hard asses though, but I do love them. They remind you that you are godliness in a time where we're basically born and bred to become like consumers and just nobodies, really. Society wants to keep us dumb, so I think the Egyptians are really just frustrated with that, because they know how smart we can be. They know our full potential, and they know that we're supposed to, all these spiritual gifts that we talk about, that's just their brain, and we're supposed to activate all of it. So I'm going to do these every Sunday, where I just like channel anything from Kemite, anything from Egypt. I love these guides. I should give them more space. I know I've been talking about demons, but I want to talk about them too. All right, if you want to follow me on social media, you want a private reading, how to do so is on the about below. Follow me on social media though. I'm a good ass time. All right, and if you want to get these decks, I have a Amazon reading list on the about below, or the statue. Stay beautiful, stay abundant, stay great, y'all.